We have Mr. Dino. He's an owner of a real estate company, and also he's been an ex-migrant from Bosnia. He came back to Bosnia, so I think it's good to share with him story. And we have also our really someone that he really inspired me when he talked. Brother Izzat, which is also, he's the director of course, radio, Una Sana Canton radio and TV station. Even though we heard our sister Diana very nice talk the other day, but still we have, we'll give Brother Izzat also 5 minutes or maximum, or 7 minutes, and then you can open your questions to continue, because the media is very important partner. And I think if we're going to sustain something, we can sustain it mainly through media, beside University of Bihać and the Ministry of Education. 3 main partners for you guys, for all the teams. Ministry of Education, Bihać University, and Una Sana Canton TV and radio station. Use it as much as you can, and if there is any obstacles, always we'll try to help you in overcoming this. I had to say something just when I was going towards the law, sorry, of the other aspect. Really, frankly, I rarely seen people. I have done many workshops during Eid around the Muslim countries. But since my workshops, always I'm criticized that it is long workshops. In the 4th day, I see people start to get tired. But I can say that with youth, it is a different story. Okay? So thank you very much for your enthusiasm. I can see, and I was surprised, and all of this is done during lunchtime. Okay? You can see that the room has changed during lunchtime. So let's give all of you applause for this excellent.
If you want me, I'll speak in English, Bosnian, because we have a lot
English.
Yes, which are in English, so I'll stick to English.
You can put it in
Sure. I ask myself a lot of times, I see a lot of young people which seem to, that you're studying, you're learning things, in a sense you're thinking, where is this going to end up? When I finish my school, am I going to get a job? What am I going to do? And I'll ask you, these guys from Bosnia, I can see you out from Bosnia, what do you plan to do when you finish your education here?
I will stay in Bosnia.
I'll stay in Bosnia.
I have perspective research.
It's just thinking in Bosnia. I lived all my life, most of my life outside of Bosnia. I came back, graduated from Copenhagen Business School, which is the top 3 Ivy League schools in the world. I came here and started my own little business. Before that, I was CFO for one of the largest pharmaceuticals for Scandinavia, America. That's in the top 10 in DAX, Google days. I came back here to Bosnia to implement a knowledge. Knowledge is a key. What my school would be here to give you a start.
Maybe the microphone we need to do something.
Ispod ovog. Ovako.
Here, yes,
Trebalo
but
ispod
don't-
tog,
yeah,
znači
that's-
da ne dirate taj dio.
Yes.
I think the most important thing is to give you a spark, to try to do something on your own. Don't expect getting a job. I didn't expect you getting a job. You can build your own job. Don't expect millions. Start thinking about just getting something for yourself. Make a job. You can make. People are looking to work in a company such as Bingo or a bunch of these malls around here. Get a pay for 500K, which is nothing. You should think about whatever you do, you can make more than that. I always said, open up a company for window cleaning. That's just a simple thing. There's a lot of companies which would just pay you to do that. You need to just think about stuff what you don't have here. There's a lot of opportunities. Analyze what you have for resources. Resources, it's not only money. Money is not just only a resource. Your biggest resource that you have is your knowledge. Knowledge is a key. So ask for help. Ask for advice. That's the important thing. My experience here, I've been here for 6 years in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We lived all over the world. I started a business from scratch. So one thing, never give up. When you start something, There's going to be ups and downs. You're going to be fully, biggest power you can have is to get up again. Don't let somebody discourage you. The most important, think positive. If you think negative, you're already lost. So positive, positive, positive. I see so many young people here. I think you guys can do a miracle. But just questions.
A miracle for Bihaj.
Not just for Bihaj, but for themselves and for Bihaj. You need to develop this country because the future lies in you. It's not in the old guys who are just sitting in their politics. You are the future. I think the most important thing that people they need to start believing in themselves. They need to believe that you can make a change. You can build your own job. When you go outside Bosnia, I lived outside Bosnia, I'm Bosnian. I lived outside in the foreign countries. You will never be there as you at home. You're always a foreigner there. This is your home ground. You can do a lot, not just for yourself, but for the country. And sometimes don't think always about what am I going to profit out of it. You need to give something to get something in return. What they say is, sorry?
No, you are right, and if you simply spend something, it will come back.
Exactly. You need to invest to work, invest to influence. Just be positive. Without positive thinking, there's nothing you can do. I've shown that you can change, you can do things. I've built my own business. I mean, no one came and gave me anything. I did everything from scratch myself. You start with a small thing, build it up. You get another thing. You just grow. And don't let anyone tell you can't do it, because you can do it. That's the key. You can do it. Any questions?
Maybe I can ask a question. We are from the entrepreneurship team, so it's a good... Okay, so you came. I'm so glad that actually you came back, and I've heard of your business, and congratulations on that. I can do only that. But my question is, when you were starting, probably you had some issues. So
there's always issues.
Yes. Okay. But can you tell us maybe what was the biggest issue, and in which way you found the solution? Did someone else help you, or you just had to invent it yourself, just like that?
Entrepreneurship is a very specific thing. Being an entrepreneur, that doesn't mean that you're inventing anything. You basically take an idea from one place, implement it somewhere
Commercialize
else.
it.
Commercialize it. What I did, basically, I found out that I want to live in Bihać. Very simple. And I said, you know, I need to do something. I can't just sit at home and wait all day for something to happen. I said, I want to work in a couple of fields, pick the field, and then go for it. Went to a different place where people perfected these ideas, got the idea, and then adapt the idea to the local market. There was always issues. The biggest issue, what I came across, was bureaucracy.
Without the mic, maybe until we solve this problem, it's easier for everybody. So we can continue without the mic.
Sure. The biggest problem was the bureaucracy. Bureaucracy you're going to come across, and there's always going to be problems with bureaucracy. They're going to ask you for this paper, for that tax, for that other tax, always a bunch of taxes. Key, avoid bureaucracy. That's key to success in Bosnia, is avoid bureaucracy. How you do that? You get as little as possible touch with the bureaucratic infrastructure things. Avoid it. That's, if you're going to spend your time sitting in a row sorting out problems, make sure that you get paid for it. If you're going to be doing something, do creative thinking. There's always a good sources of information. Bloomberg, Sky, CNN. See what's going on in the world. Implement the new ideas. Bring them here. You are smart enough. You are clever. You can do it. I understand that you don't have the resources, what people are asking for here, like what they have in the United States, in Northern Europe. But be wise. Be a fox. Don't be a mouse. You know, think about creativity. Your creativity is your biggest advantage. advantage of Bosnian kids, I say kids, young guys, people in Bosnia, is that they are inventive. If you go to Northern Europe, I'll give you an example. I worked there. They come across a problem. Problem is not in the book. They just crash. They completely break down. They're not creative thinkers. Here, we have to survive with creative thinking. We have come across a problem, creatively solve it. The biggest problem we're going to come across, including bureaucracy here, is that whatever you start, first step they're going to say no. 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 Is there anything I can go? But you can notice one thing. They're saying no, but you're still moving forward. You're going forward. They say no, I can go forward. And you always have to tell them, tell me how can I do it? There has to be a way you can do it, and there's a way you cannot do it. Avoid the way you cannot do it. The way they say no, fine. There has to be a solution. I'll give you an example. My wife is a lawyer. She starts everything with a no. Legally in Bosnia, everything is no. They don't want to find a solution for you. I'm the person which basically attracts more investors to una sana canton than entire ministry. So what you have, all the municipalities. Why? Because I say yes. Why?
It can be done.
It can.
That's what I heard from you always.
It can be done. My example, you can use. If I can do it, you can do it too. I'm not smarter than you. I'm not richer than you. I'm not more beautiful than you. You have this everything. You have everything here. It's a question of your mindset and say, I can do it. If you say, maybe, you can't do it. You probably will watch Star Wars. Do or do not. There's no try. I mean, Yoda was a wise guy. You need to think that way. Don't let anyone tell you no. You can do it. Professionally, if knowledge, what you have, it's one thing. What you don't know, ask the best expert. Don't use somebody who might know his cousin's uncle knows something. No, go to the expert. Expertise is never expensive. It's cheaper than if you fail 10 times. Get the expertise, get the best knowledge you can. What you don't know, get the book, read it. Learn from somebody else's mistakes. Don't learn it from your own mistakes, because your own mistakes are the most expensive ones. And they cost you money, time, effort, energy, and everything. Energy is the key issue, which you have to pay attention to. If you lose your energy, you're gone. You became just one of the other zombies. Don't be a zombie. You're here because you're not zombies. You want to change. You want to do something. As you said, you don't want to go outside to some other country. You're going to stay and you see a future and potential here. What I said to Mr. Muhammad, his biggest legacy here is to issue a spark. What you have got, I could see it in your eyes, that you can change, you can do stuff. And that's, we need to say thank you to him. Questions if you have, please don't hesitate to ask. Please.
Have you ever volunteered, and if yes, what kind of influence had it on the future success?
Have I ever volunteered? I volunteered all the time. It's your extracurricular thing. You do something, not just for the money, but to make a change. It's not just experience. Experience is one thing, but to make a change, you need to get a critical mass of people which are saying, look, I want to do something. I told him an example of medieval games here. My father, he lives in Copenhagen. And he came to Bihać. I said, look, I'll take you to Stražac. You know Stražac. People which don't know Stražac, it's one of the most beautiful castles from medieval ages, best preserved here in this region. And I took him there and said, look, this is such a beautiful place. I said, yeah, we could go and make medieval games here. I said, yeah, he said, look, I've seen this before. It's done in Denmark. There was 4 actors, rest of the people were enthusiasts. I said, look, it's no problem. We'll get 4 actors. We have problems with enthusiasts. Who are the enthusiasts? Enthusiasts are people which are willing to do something to make the world a better place. Somebody has to start it. It's not always about money. Here, what I experienced is everybody wants to earn something, to get some interest out of something. You need to sometimes do stuff where you're not going to make money out of it.
Directly.
directly. You get, for example, why would I go play basketball? For example, good question. I'm not going to make any money out of it. But you'll meet people, you'll talk to the people, you'll get different opinions. You'll get the network of people. You didn't make money directly. You build your perspective. You build your position from there. You need to start doing things. This here, it's one of the greatest things you could have done in the last few days. Why? You met people from different cultures. You learned how other people think. What are their ideas? What are their angle on looking at different perspectives? You met somebody who lives in Bahrain. You know how far that is? That's really far. And you got an opportunity to talk to them. That's the best thing that you could do. Networking, networking, networking. And there's no bad thing. There's always a good thing. Always look at it from a positive side. Even if it's a bad thing, there is a good thing on the other side. It has to be balanced.
And that's what volunteering gives you.
Exactly. Volunteering does that for you. For example, you have Merhamet here, for example. People go and they say, I have to do something. You know what? Do it. Why? You'll feel better about yourself. You'll help somebody. My company stopped financing different sport activities here, for example. Why? We said we're not going to do that. We're going to support orphan home in Bosnia, Duga. Maybe you heard about it. Because what am I going to do? I'm going to eat all the money? I can't eat 5 lunches a day. I can't sleep in 10 beds. You sleep in 1 bed, eat 1 lunch. Drive 1 car. I think that was enough for me. If you have any more questions.
Yeah, question we have still.
What is your business?
I basically deal in a couple of things. One of the things is real estate development. We have internet web portals promoting properties from different companies around the world. We have real estate agency. We do consulting. Generally, we sell knowledge and goodwill. It's in Bihać. It's in the center of the city. You can't miss it. It's the opposite from.
But maybe I will ask instead of the migration team. What made you come back?
Sorry?
Why would you choose that kind of?
How did I choose? Very, very simple. I started my first business when I was 14. After a while, I said there's a couple of things I can deal with. One thing is I can sell my knowledge. Second thing, I can sell gold, because gold never loses value. Properties never lose value. I said this would be an interesting thing. Basically, it was sheer luck. I walked down the street and I saw a really nice location for an office, and I said, let's do it. You've got nothing to lose. What? You're going to lose a couple of hundreds. Just start something. Do it. If you lose, come on. It's not the end of the world. Then after I decided together with my wife what we're going to do, then we said, find the people which know how to do this best. Packed our bags and went to Copenhagen, to Malmö in Sweden, to London, and went to a couple of real estate agencies. Talked to them, saw how they did it. We didn't invent anything. We just adapted the idea to Bosnia and Herzegovina, to mentality, to culture, to language. That was the methodology, what we did. Of course, after a while, we made a lot of mistakes. No doubt about it. Think about a lawyer writing a marketing material. Terrible. In marketing, you're thinking about short things, something that people can see. Lawyer, he wants to write a whole document, 50 lines. And my wife was trying to put the lawyer thing. I said, I think this just ain't going to work. And after 2 weeks, I said, I'll pay for advertising. I know nothing's going to happen. And the advertiser concluded this was wrong. So change it to the way other people, they already found out success out of it. You had more questions?
We have one thing.
Sure.
We are from NGO, non-government organization, and we have one question. Our priority is for Bihać, that is our only football club, and we really are giving some hopes to that club. Will it be, if we ask, our support.
I am already a support there.
Okay.
Of course, I spoke to President Abid. He's a friend of mine personal, and I am a member of a club, and of course I would help whatever he needs to establish it in a better way than it was before.
Okay, thank you for your support.
So maybe the next Kanaan, next focus group, we can invite him. Okay. Next focus group, invite Dino. Yes.
You're in our focus group.
It will be one in permanent.
Sorry?
At the beginning of October.
The focus group will be in the beginning of October. Yes.
You can't miss my company. I mean, and it's in the center of a city. Just come by.
Okay, thank you.
What we can? Anything else?
Okay, Dino, I think we should ask you the question. The $1 million question. What made you come, even though you are a vice? I think CEO, right? You were something financial.
I was CFO.
CFO. And the company? One of the largest.
Merck. It's one of the largest pharmaceutical in Germany.
Which is very well known. You know Merck. Everyone who.
They are a large producer of oncology, medicine. They are producers of all lead technology. They're chemical and pharmaceutical company. I think they're largest now in the world.
So what made you come back? And it's a very difficult decision if you are in a well established.
I'll tell you why I came back. I came because of love, and nothing else. It was basically the question was my position as a CFO for Scandinavia was requiring me to travel 4 or 5 times a week. That means it didn't matter if I flew commercial or I had a private jet flying me. You can't even imagine this kind of level of lifestyle. But I was working from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the evening. I was always in a business meeting. I was always running somewhere, getting a job done for somebody else. And then at one point in time, I found out that it's not all worth it. There's more important family values which you need to build. You need to have family. That's our main reason for being on this planet Earth. To have family, to have children, to be satisfied. And it was not about the money. I mean, if I tell you that I had basically pocket money of 10,000 euros a month, why I said pocket money, it was not a salary, it was pocket money. Because everything else was paid by the company. I had 2 cars, I had a driver with a car, I had whatever you can imagine, I had it. I had paid apartment in the most luxurious part of Germany, in Darmstadt, which is 40 kilometers from Frankfurt. I did my job. They were scouting me to work for them for 6 months, begging me basically to come and work for them. And after a while, I just said, you know what, it's just not worth it. It's not all about the money. It's about making a change, making a difference, making something better. And then I decided to, I met my wife. I was basically lonely. I had all the money in the world, but it didn't mean nothing. You didn't have home. I was sleeping in the airplane. I'm not joking, seriously. It was my sleeping quarter was in the airplane. Driver would drive into the airplane to the airport. I would get on the airplane and fall asleep when the plane takes off and wake up when we land.
Another country.
And you wake up one day in Oslo, one day in Stockholm, the other day in Helsinki. And that was not something what made you satisfied. So I said, you know what, I'll leave all this. I left everything. I said, I don't want it anymore. And I didn't make a mistake. I feel very happy that I did this. I got a beautiful wife, have 2 beautiful children, which is the most important thing for me. Have successful business, which I built with my own work. Have a lot of friends. Have time to have peace and quiet. Think about this.
And he insists that he drive them to school himself, which is something that is I didn't do, frankly. So I want to give him applause for this.
Please, they have a question.
I would like if you let me just do some comment, not a question.
Sure.
I'm glad to meet you, and it's very interesting that in these days we have different people that come and open their souls and their personal stories to us. And it's very important that, as from the film of Superman says, that if you have more responsibilities, it's from that point of view, it's very
Great power brings a great responsibility.
Yes,
sure.
yes. And when I heard your personal story, I imagine you as a responsible person, but maybe person when hear Tom Jones' green grass of home to start to cry.
Sure.
If you understand me.
I understand.
You realize that you can have all of good things, but it's something that can be paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Money
can't buy you everything.
Yes.
It's true. I experienced my mom's. Mi imamo pesmu Dine Merlina. Nije sreća para, puna vreća. There is a Bosnian song by Dino Merlin says, the luck or happiness is not a bag full of money. That's very important. I think it's very important for you guys to realize that you can change, you can do things. I mean, of course, there is a responsibility. You need to be responsible, whatever you do. I mean, from signing a paper, you need to be responsible. Whatever you say, you need to be responsible to do it. It's not like now you have, from politicians, judges, different administrative people, they don't take responsibility for the things what they do. And there is no responsibility. They are stealing, they are doing this and that. That's the reason why I said in the beginning, you have to understand, as far as away from me, I don't want to have any touch with my business. I don't want to do any work for the state. Would you believe me? Because I'm guaranteed that they're not going to pay me. That's one thing. You can invest yourself, your energy, your work. You're not going to get paid. I said, I have people which I do things, and I don't ask when they're going to pay for that work. On the other hand, when the state would need me to do something, I would ask them to pay in advance. Because their responsibility towards individual as a person, they are negligent parent. They're negligent towards business. They're negligent towards anything but themselves. And we cannot change this overnight. But we can change it with time, with these young guys.
Or with ourselves.
With ourselves. They have to understand, we can change, we can do things. It's up to you. Please.
Personally, I'd like to thank you so much for the fantastic, warming and touching speech. I think you've touched all of us. And I think really Bosnia in a good hand. My question to you, as you are a successful businessman and excellent speaker that in fact motivate your speakers into how to attract the youth heart, and I think you are fantastic in that. Do you use this kind of, let us say, speech delivering to help the immigration, especially we're reaching 65% of the youth leaving this? Is there any chance that you perhaps use this and delivering a speech around Bosnia?
To tell you honest, I would love to be able to do that. I would love to be able to do that. But generally politicians, they don't think in that way. They're thinking how they're going to make profit in their own way. For example, I have local elections. I didn't want to be on the list. Why? Because I don't think I could do something. I could do a change. What I can do, I told them, I work behind the scenes. I give them an idea and say, look, we have to fight for every dog. Not a person, a dog. Because when all the young people, these smart young guys, leave Boston, what are we going to have? Retirement home? Seriously.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay? We need to motivate these young guys to stay here. It's not about giving them the money. Don't give them a fish. Teach them how to catch a fish. I'm always open to anyone who wants. I mean, my company gives free consulting to people which want to change, want to do something. Learn from my experience. You don't have to pay for it. I'll give you advice. Don't do this or do that. Why? Because I want you to be successful. More successful you are, more business you make, more positive things you do, I'm gonna live better. Because prices of our properties are gonna go up. I'm basically doing NGO work. You see, it's not direct impact, but if you're improving the economy and you create that inspiration here, if you improve the economy, that means that people are going to get paid in time, they're going to get bigger salaries, they're going to be credit worthy more than they are now, so they will be able to buy a house on the credit because not many people have cash. They'll be able to pay off the credit or a loan what they take. They could have a comfortable life. That's how things work in the Western world. We have to implement this here in Bosnia. I know that we cannot change it overnight. It takes generations. But key is education. Start with education. And with that little spark, that you can do it. It's not Nike, it's you can do it, seriously.
Thank you. You can sit down and maybe listen also for our brother Izzat. Thank you again for this very nice talk. And I was expecting this from Dino because since I knew him in a short time, I learned a lot from him. And he's very sincere, frankly. And he's a businessman. At the end of the day, he wants to sell things, but he looked at things in long term, not short term. And that's unique for those who make a difference in their business. They make a difference in their business, and they make a difference in the life of the others. And this is why Steve Jobs is different than others. Because Steve Jobs, he always did not answer the question of how to do things, as I told you. He answered the question of what to do and why to do it. Okay? And why should I do it with Dino, not with other real estate, okay, in Bihać. We would like to welcome our brother